Hello and welcome to episode 6 of KCC TV, our magazine show for the local cycling community. It's been a little while since the last one, Karen.
It has, hasn't it, Ben? Yes. I think it was sunny when we last spoke.
Yeah, it was still summer, but we've got a great show coming up. Karen, what have we got on this episode?
We've got a very seasonal film about the struggle hill climb,
That's right.
where the weather was awful.
Winter came early, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Followed by a really interesting introduction to bikepacking from Chris Rees.
And then we've got our regular feature climb of the month, and we're going to find out how everyone got on last time and set a new challenge for this coming period of time.
We have Meet a Committee Member, and this month it's Simon Horsley.
And then we've got our usual KCC news, followed by a short film about our junior section.
So let's get into it. And at the end of September, there was the Struggle Hill Climb, a closed road event with competitors from all around the country taking part. It was a pretty dismal day, wasn't it?
It was awful. I was glad I was at home.
But lots of people turned out to spectate, lots of people turned out to take part, so let's find out what happened.
To be fair, I'll be concentrating on my breathing, staying alive, so I think it'll just happen. I'll get up somehow. I won't overthink it.
I would say my personal best is somewhere around about 19 and a half minutes, so any time under 20 minutes I'll be more than happy with.
Not full on. I haven't got one.
So I got some tips last night from a friend, and he was like, take some really deep breaths at the start, get some adrenaline pumping, and then go quite hard on the first bit because it's quite steep, and then recover quite a lot on the descent, but don't go mad, and then just empty the tank all the way to the top, and if you've not been sick, then you haven't gone hard enough.
That sounds like great advice.
The local epic climb, it's almost impossible. I think people like the impossible. And the weather's impossible as well.
Go on, mate, looking good. Come on, keep it up. Good pace, good pace. Speed and power all the way to the top. Come on, mate. Oh, it's looking good, mate. Come on. Power to the finish. Nothing new.
Go on. You're nearly there. Go on. Send it, go on.
Go, Kendall!
Keep going.
Well done, Ray. Up, 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 up. Come on! Up, 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 up. Go on! Come on! Go, 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 go! So I'm here with Ed at the top of the hill. How did you find your race today, mate?
It was a struggle.
I think that really captured the spirit of the day, didn't it, Ben? Hats off or helmets off to everyone who completed that, or even started it.
There were some pain faces to be viewed there, weren't there?
There were.
Yeah, and you know, well done to everyone that took part, and even went out to spectate, because it looked a little bit grim up there on the top.
So next up, we've got something that's slightly different, but still could be a bit of a struggle if the weather's not right. And we're going to look at bikepacking.
Yeah, have you been bikepacking?
I haven't. Have you?
No.
We found something that you haven't done. It's usually me that hasn't. So I think we're both going to learn something from this film.
I really like this because I think Chris does a really good introduction and really lets you know how easy it is to actually go bikepacking.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, let's find out more.
Hi, I'm Chris Rees. I've been a member of KCC for about 5 years now, and I want to take this opportunity to talk to you about something I've got into this summer, which is bikepacking. Defining bikepacking seems to be a contentious issue. To me, it's simply loading the equipment you need to survive for a few days onto your bike and then riding off. I'm far from an expert on the subject of bikepacking, but the point of this video is more to show you that you don't really need to know what you're doing. You can just go out there and have a go at it. So one of the things that I've found puts people off getting involved is the type of bike that you need for bikepacking. And actually, the correct bike for bikepacking is the bike you have. So behind me is my Rebel CGR gravel bike, which I've just used, and I'll take you through the equipment that's on there in a moment. But I've also used my full sus mountain bike and also a road bike, and really the type of bike you use will be more dictated by what's available to you, and then it might influence your route choice as well. Your route choice will be partly determined by your bike. If you're on a road bike, you're going to be on tarmac. But if you've got a more rugged bike, then it's going to open up more terrain to you. There's a plethora of route information out there, online, in guidebooks, or just using a map. But for your first adventure, I'd recommend doing something you've done before. My first trip was just a ride to Longsladdle, then a camp, and then home in the morning. You could even ride to a friend's house, spend the night there, and then ride home the next day. What you take depends on how long you're away for and your overnight plans. Staying indoors is easier, but camping's more memorable and will open up a lot more route possibilities. My most recent trip was the cross-country Reivers route with wild camping. Let's have a look at what I took. On the bars I packed bulky but light things so they won't affect the bike handling too much, e.g. sleeping bag, sleeping mat, bivvy bag if I'm not using a tent, maybe some clothes. Then I have a decent light and my bike computer. I'm using bikepacking bags, but you could just get the same effect with dry bags and bungee cords to save money. In the centre of the bike I put heavier items with snacks going in the top tube pack. Make sure I've got plenty of water. The frame bag won't fit on my mountain bike, so if I've used that I will carry tools and water in a backpack. Again, it's using what you have available. In the seat pack I have my stove, food, which I try just to have things that need hot water added in, for example couscous or the dehydrated meals that are pretty good although they're expensive. Breakfast is coffee and then porridge with dried fruit added. I portion that up before leaving. I also take a book, lightweight lock, waterproof and an essential midge net. I've spared you pictures of my dirty clothes. Finally, on the outside is my tent. I've just finished day 2, somewhere in Kielder Forest at the moment, so came from that direction. That bridge is literally the border between England and Scotland, so I'm in Scotland at the moment, and be going down there in the morning, but for now just set up the tent pretty much in the middle of nowhere, to be honest. So just behind me found these 2 picnic benches and handy place to rest the bike and to sit, and then got the tent as well. So pleasant place. There's a little burn just above the bridge, so somewhere I can get water, maybe have a swim, but it's a bit cold at the moment. Fortunately there's a breeze, so no midge as well, and touch wood, it stays like that for the rest of the evening. So just coming over a little rise, and that's the view. Thanks for watching. I look forward to hearing about your adventures. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask me on Facebook or on one of the club rides. And if you'd like information about my routes, then you can find them on my Strava.
So Ben, has that made you want to go bikepacking?
It actually has. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never done it. I've never been quite sure. But when I saw Chris there overnight, just like in the forest there, I thought, wow, that's actually really, really nice.
Yeah.
I like being outdoors. Yeah, I'd like to do it.
And you can just use, as he said, a wet bag and a bungee rope. You don't have to go out and spend huge amounts of money, and just take what you've got. I really liked his idea as well of just going and staying with a friend. So, taking your sleeping bag, but actually staying with someone this time of year is a good...
Have you got a garden?
I have, yeah.
Great, I might come round.
Okay. I was going to say, I could possibly make it to my garden.
So, last month we had 2 Climb of the Month challenges. We had an off-road challenge from Ruth Walton and the Wednesday mountain bike crew, which was High Cup Nick. And we had Rory Black taking us up the Greyhound in Kendal for our road challenge. Now, Karen, we had some quite interesting people taking part in this, things happening, didn't we?
We did, yes. So we had several people who did it twice, did both of them, High Cup Nick and the Greyhound.
We did. Padraig Spillane and Chris Rees did both the road 6 times up the Greyhound and the High Cup Nick off-road climb, so well done. We also had Joseph Southall, who did a double scarfelling challenge, which was 12 times up the Greyhound in a single ride.
Excellent.
And Andrew Armstrong, who only did 1 ascent up the Greyhound, but he was towing his son Max in a bike trailer.
And I think that makes Max the youngest person to have done one of our KCC challenges.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Max. What we said last time is that anyone who takes part will go have their name put into the draw for a prize from Wheelbase, which is a £50 voucher to spend at Wheelbase. So thanks to Wheelbase again for sponsoring the challenge. So Karen, I've got the names here in our special helmet. I'm going to ask you to pull one out.
Right. Yeah, there's lots in here again.
There's a lot of names in here, yeah.
There we go, Neil Denny.
Congratulations, Neil.
Excellent, well done, Neil.
And there's one other thing we need to talk about.
There is, yes, your second challenge.
So you might remember last time that I made this sort of off-the-cuff suggestion that some people might not just want to do scarfelling, but maybe do an Everesting of the Greyhound, which is what Rory had talked about. And one person actually completed 56 reps up the Greyhound.
I was exhausted just watching her progress on Facebook, I can tell you.
So congratulations, Susan Little. We're totally in awe of your achievement. And so are Wheelbase, and so they have offered a bonus £50 voucher, which is going to you, Susan, for having done the Everesting challenge. Congratulations.
Well done, Susan. Well deserved. And I think there's going to be another opportunity to win again this month, isn't there?
There is. We've got something a little bit different this month. And we thought we would get in touch with our brothers and sisters over at Kirkby Lonsdale Cycling Club and ask them to come up with a challenge and have a little bit of inter-club competition. So let's find out what they came up with.
Welcome to Climb of the Month. It's from Kirkby Lonsdale, really nice town, up to the top of Barking House, and it's about 8 kilometres long with 200 metres of climbing. If you're quick, you'll be able to do it in about 15 minutes and in the big ring all the way. If you're not so quick, then just give it a go. So the start of the climb is in Kirkby Lonsdale near the Orange Tree pub, and you start all the way to this first climb crest here at Old Town. You downhill a bit, then up again and then up again. It's about 8 kilometres long, so you need to pace yourself properly. A good place to start the climb is actually in the barn with an espresso. You can then come out of town past the Orange Tree where the segment starts, and I'm on the first rise here because it does go up and down just outside Old Town.
So my name is Susan Graham. I've been riding with Kirkby Lonsdale Cycling Club for approximately 18 months. What I like most about this climb is that it's not too steep at any point and it's totally rideable. You get a few faster sections and from the top it's a great downhill. What I most don't like about this climb is when you're cycling into a strong headwind, which just makes it quite hard. The hardest thing that I find about this climb is when I'm riding with others and I'm having to keep up with them and work hard, but that's just part of riding. My best time up this climb is a poor 26.47 minutes. I did that in 2020 and I've not got any better since then, so room for improvement. Thanks.
Riders still behind you. Coming to get you.
Well done, I hope you've got a cracking time. I guess you're still recovering once you've hit the finish line here, but you've got a great roll down into Kendal with some of the best views of the Lake District. Thanks again for asking Kirkby Lonsdale Cycling Club to be part of Climb of the Month. We've got plenty more tough climbs over where we're from, so we'll arrange another one.
So Ben, that's a great film and our first drone footage as well.
I know Tim Price has gone above and beyond there with some great drone footage and a beautiful day as well.
Absolutely.
That they shot that on.
Yeah. I'm not sure we're going to get as nice days as that to complete this challenge, but nevertheless. So what is the challenge this month then? So
the challenge is simply to go and ride the climb. We're going to have a little bit of friendly inter-club competition to see who might be fastest out of each club between men and women. But as ever, the competition will just be completing the climb before the next episode. And Wheelbase have offered a £50 voucher that we're going to pull out for the male names and a £50 voucher for the female names from either both clubs, KCC or Kirby Lonsdale CC.
Excellent. So yeah, let's have a bit of inter-club rivalry there. That'll be good. Next up, we've got our regular feature meter committee member. And we're going to be talking this month to Simon Horsley, who is social secretary at the moment. That's a role you did previously, Ben, isn't it?
It is actually,
yeah.
Simon took over from me a couple of years ago. And since we recorded this film, many of you will know that Beth Jackson is stepping down as chair, and Simon has put himself forward to be the chair for KCC for the next 2 years, and we'll find out at the AGM if that goes ahead, but potentially this is meet the next KCC chairman.
I'm Simon Horsley. I've been an active member of Kendal Cycle Club since 2017 when I moved back to the UK from living in Ireland. When I'm not cycling, I'm working, and my job is I run a sales organisation for an American software company, and my real passion is coaching and developing talent and helping people achieve and become the best possible salespeople, people they can be within my team. Well, my role in the committee is I look after social, which was quite funny because when I took on this role, I think it was November 2019, my wife laughed and she said, "Well, you're not a very sociable person, so how come they've voted you to be social on the social committee side?" I said, "Well, actually, it's all about organising stuff." So the reality is the role is about organising social activities for the club. And to be honest, it's been very challenging over the last couple of years, particularly with COVID, and the scope of what we've been able to do is not what I would have hoped to be able to do when I took on this role. But we've managed to do a number of things virtually, and most recently we did the barbecue home skills with the juniors at their end of this season's activities, which was great. It was great to see so many people there in person. So my initial kind of time on the bike was basically riding to school. I used to live on the south side of Kendal and ride all the way to what was Longlands Boys School at the time, which is Queen Catherine now. But really, I took up cycling a lot later in life properly because my initial sporting interests were through the age of 12 to 28 was canoeing. We had a very kind of successful career canoeing, a number of world championships, and taking a number of medals at national championship level as well. In my late 40s, early 50s, we were living in Ireland. My daughter was playing Gaelic football, and a number of fathers on the touchline were into cycling and invited me out. And so I went out at weekends, started cycling with them, got the buzz for it. Riding with the Kendal guys, you guys all challenged me and pushed me on to achieve more and do more on the bike. So I'm just loving it. Well, my real strong passion is time trialing. Absolutely just love the purity of time trialing. It's about, just putting out the best performance you can put in the day. I typically ride every day. I've got a bit of an addiction to doing sport. I have done all my life. So if I'm not doing something every day, I typically get pretty frustrated and definitely very grumpy if I get ill and can't exercise. But no, I either ride in the morning, typically on my turbo trainer, and then obviously outside typically at the weekends. Oh, there's lots really, but I guess the most notable things for me is, I went on the first Kendal trip down to Mallorca, and I stayed on for another week because I fancied having a go at the 312. I must admit it was a bit, what have I let myself into here? But fortunately I had a really good ride, got round in 11 hours and 3 minutes I think it was. I was really pleased with that. It was just really great experience being out on the bike. Never realised I could ride a bike for 11 hours without stopping. And it would be kind of a miss of me not to say I do absolutely love the Saturday rides with the black group. It's I wouldn't say it's competitive. I'd say it's extremely competitive. It challenges me, it pushes me on, and I'm kind of working my way on, keeping up there and holding my own. Well, for me, it's the camaraderie, it's being around like-minded people that just love riding their bikes. And secondly, I want to I'm at the stage in life where I want to be able to put stuff back into sport. And at the moment, I'm heavily involved in cycling and enjoy cycling. And if I can put anything back to help others really get full value and real full enjoyment from the sport, then that's what I'd love to do. And that's part of the reason, obviously, I joined the committee, is because I really saw it as an opportunity of giving something back. And I have aspirations to do more with the committee. I think there's more I can do to help lead the club in its kind of next chapter, to really make sure our members get everything they possibly can out of the club, and that we grow as a club, and particularly our junior section continues to thrive and grow, and that we have that diversity in the club, which I think is so important. So I think there's lots more I think I can offer to the club, and I'm excited about those possibilities going forward.
I hope that gave you a chance to get to know Simon a little better if you haven't met him before. And it was really great to hear Simon's passion for cycling and passion for KCC as well. Simon will potentially become the chair at the AGM, and so a couple of items of news for KCC are that the AGM is happening on November the 3rd. The committee would really like to encourage everyone to attend and get involved in the club, and there is still a vacancy for a social secretary on the committee.
Is that online or in person, that meeting?
It's in person in Kendal at a venue to be announced.
Excellent, so just a nice chance to meet up with people you might not have seen for ages as well.
Absolutely, it's going to be a bit of a social as well. I think there's some films and some other things happening.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
One other piece of news is that we are beginning to plan the Mallorca trip for next April, which will be from the 23rd to the 30th of April. If you'd like to come to Mallorca with some like-minded people, then have a look on the Facebook page. There's lots of information there, or get in touch with myself.
Our final feature is about our junior section. We had a Funduro to mark the end of term, as it were, because it's getting a bit dark now, can't carry on. And it was up at home scales, and there was lots of competition, lots of fun things to do. And here's just a brief film to show you how they all got on. So I think that's just a great little film that shows us what the juniors get up to, some of what the juniors get up to. And if you are watching this and you are a junior or you know someone who might be interested in getting involved, then email goride@kendal.cc to find out what's going on. Things have got a bit quiet for the winter now, but there are still some regular rides taking place, and there may be some indoor stuff as well, and then it'll kick off again in the spring when the weather hopefully improves.
I thought some of those things were quite hard.
Oh yes.
I can't do a wheelie. Certainly not for that length of time.
You need to come to Go Ride.
I do. Yeah. I'm sort of glad I wasn't doing the slalom bit either, because that looked quite tricky too.
It was, yes. I'm very competitive.
Yes, it looked it. So that's it for episode 6. Our next episode will be coming out at the start of December. It just remains for us to say some thank yous to people who were involved in this episode. So first of all, thanks to all the riders and spectators who took part in the Struggle Hill Climb.
And all our junior riders who took part in the Funduro.
To Chris Rees for his bikepacking film, and Simon Horsley for Committee Member of the Month.
To Susan Graham and Stuart Mounsey from Kirby Lonsdale CC for their challenge this month.
And finally to Tim Price, Pete Aylward, Map Deck and Wheelbase for sponsoring prizes and for producing and filming.
So if you've enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and if you hit the bell button you'll be able to be notified about our next episode.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Karen. See you next time.